It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. The name of the band is called Shadow Killer, and that is A Price for Freedom, something we're all paying heavily for these days. And opening up the show tonight, we heard our good friends from Georgia, Mad Margaret, with The One You Love to Hate. And coming to the mic, the one that the YouTube commenters love to hate, is my partner and friend, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
Dude, that last song you played, I thought you were playing some illegal music for us. It sounded a lot like Metallica's Atlas Rise.
Nope, Shadow Killer.
Like it. I like that a lot.
Yeah, there you go. So, continuing playing unlicensed music or music that isn't owned by some corporate conglomerate.
Yeah, it's really awful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's terrible. But I did get a couple of emails this week from people who said that, again, just reiterating the fact that since we've been doing this since July, they've discovered a lot of bands that they probably never would have heard of.
Yeah, which is great. It's great because we are actually spreading the word on a lot of good bands.
Yeah, sure. So, you did have to spend weeks and weeks cherry picking out of the lot.
Yes.
And some just did not make the cut, unfortunately, but not all of them can be winners.
No, but most of them were decent. I mean, we got very few that were absolute shit.
Right.
And and there was a definite thought in my head to bring the ones that were absolute shit to the table. And then I decided not to on purpose because I just was like, man, if we do that, then people are going to be afraid to submit music to us.
Well, that is true.
And I didn't want to do that either, to where we end up with the same 50 songs and that's it.
Yeah.
So there was some that was not very good, but for the very most part, just a lot of really cool stuff. And what's cool is like I sent you, I don't know if you downloaded it or not yet, but I sent you something new from Pure Steel.
Okay.
From the Pure Steel Records company, called, what was that band called? Starblind?
Yeah, I did download it.
And that it's fucking great, but it's new. So, we can continue right on with promoting stuff that's coming out now and not just old music.
Right.
So, it's cool. And I've been digging the music a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, it's for you and I, for the most part, it is our beer and piss break.
Sure. Since
we sit here for, anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour and a half, bloviating about whatever it is that we're what's on our mind at the moment.
Sure.
So we need to get up and go get a drink and relieve some of that grape drink.
Yep, relieve the grape drink, shake the dick around a little bit, and then get back to it.
Right, exactly. So anyway, it's been a good week for me on a personal level. Okay. So I was looking forward to getting behind the mic today and doing some CMS. I mean, the weather's been good, and things in my personal life are pretty good, and there's been changes on the employment front for me.
Really?
Yeah, not a change in employment, but things within the system.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it is. I'll type it to you. Not that I want to make it public, but
get a couple more dollars.
Well, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Right.
That's all that matters. Are you getting any more money?
Now you sound like my dad.
Yeah. Well, how are you going to make money doing that?
Yeah. You going to make any money?
Yeah. Well, then that's great. Oh, you're not? Well, then what are you doing?
Exactly.
Stop dicking around, boy.
Right. So, yeah, I've just been enjoying the nice weather this week because I know that it's going to come to an end, in a short amount of time, I'm sure.
Sure. It can't end soon enough for me. It is absolutely fucking killing the pinball business.
With the nice weather?
Yes.
You want to drive people indoors?
Dude, snow and rain. Those are it could be 80 degrees and sunny Monday through Friday, and I'd be fine. As long as it's fucking shitty and 42 with sleet on Saturday. Because when it's shitty outside, that's when people go and play pinball. For whatever
absolutely.
Reason. And we haven't had that in months, and boy, am I paying for it. Like, I'm seeing my $16, $17, $2,000 days be like $400, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're killing me.
Yeah.
I got to pay the electric bill out of my own cash.
Yeah, well, winter is coming, so hopefully they'll be flooding into the place.
Yeah, as I was telling my son this week, because he was like, oh, there's not that many people this week, and I was like, dude, peaks and valleys, man. You're going to have some weeks that are just fucking ridiculous, and then you're going to have other weeks that are like, you literally see the tumbleweed blowing across the machines.
Right.
So it's just one of them things.
Sure it is.
Happens.
Sure it is.
It happens.
Well, I haven't really spoken much with you this week. I don't think I have spoken with you at all this week. I
don't think so,
yeah,
no.
You've been pretty involved with business and, of course, taking care of your son and,
yeah.
I don't think that I saw that you actually ventured out of the house this week for any reason.
Other than chemo, no. There was chemo on Wednesday, but other than that, no. I was in, to quote the mighty philosophers, Judas Priest, I was locked in.
Right.
Now just working. Dude, for whatever reason, the pinball place may not be making a ton of money, but the Aiken IT sure as fuck is.
Sure.
It's like jobs just keep falling at me.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to, people that I have not heard from I got a return customer that I had not heard from in 7 years this week for $3,000.
Nice.
I was like, fuck yeah.
Maybe it took them 7 years to save up $3,000 to get you to do a job for them.
It might have. I somehow doubt it because they are they're a grocery importer and exporter, so they certainly have fucking money. But
right.
It just was it was just out of the blue. It was like, hey, would you like to come back and do bup up up? And I was like, yes, I would. I absolutely would. So it's just been that way the last month or so, where the jobs are just falling into my lap, but it's really keeping me busy. And here I was. I thought, okay, well, I'm getting into my slow season, and that's a good time to release the book because I'll have time to do all this other shit. And not so this time. Literally working, not working as hard as I usually do, though. I won't lie. I've kind of cut it down to maybe 12, 13 hours a day, which I know that doesn't sound like cutting it down much, but anybody that knows me well knows that is cutting it down for me.
That is cutting it down. That's close to the time that I spend between leaving home, doing my thing, and getting back home. That's about a 12-hour process.
Yeah, I mean, but I have to cut it down now because there's so many good shows getting ready to come out.
Like Stranger Things this week.
Yeah, dude, am I wrong in thinking that the previews look like shit for that?
I've only seen one, and I only saw it once, so I'm not really sure what to expect, but maybe it'll be a 2-season show, and that'll be it.
I hope not, because I loved the first season, but yeah, it comes out on Friday. I can't wait. That's my birthday, which is awesome. That birthday present to myself, ignore people and watch Stranger Things all day.
Right, and I saw you were very excited about the announcement of the release of The Ranch.
Yes, that's going to be great. December 15th. I can't wait for that one to come back. You know how much I love Kim Goss and what's her name? God, love her so much I can't think of her name. The chick that was Jack Bauer's daughter.
Yeah, I know who you're talking. The two blondes.
Yeah, what is her fucking name now? Now I can't think of it. Let me look up. Chick that played Jack Bauer's. What? Why can't I think of her name? Alicia Cuthbert. That's it. Yeah, love her.
Yeah,
she's got nice big fucking tits, and she's got nice tits.
Yep. So yeah, that'll be good too. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, good stuff there. And dude, did you ever watch? I'm still stuck on fucking documentaries. I have officially become a millennial as far as my TV watching because it's all YouTube all the time right now.
Well, I've watched a ton of documentaries this year myself.
Well, I found an actual movie from maybe when did The Sopranos come out?
92?
Was it 90? Was it that long ago?
Yeah, it was 93.
All right. Because this movie, it's just called Gotti, the movie. It was on HBO.
Right.
It might as well have been a Sopranos fucking tryout. There's like 8 people from The Sopranos.
Well, yeah, all those movies, you know, whether it's The Sopranos or Goodfellas or Casino.
Right, okay.
All of those guys are just trade places in all those movies.
I'm talking all of them are in it except for Tony Soprano. Paulie Walnuts is in it. Big Pussy's in it. Uncle June is in it. Frank Vincent is in it. There was 8 of them. I counted them throughout the show. I was like, what the fuck? It's like it's like the guy that wrote The Sopranos just said, I'll just take these characters, you know, and he brought them all with him.
Yeah. Eddie in the chat room has corrected me. It was 1999.
Oh, I see. Well, there you go. You got to make sure that it's real news. Don't be fucking up with the fake news,
don't be spreading fake news.
Yeah, you better. That's why you're supposed to do your research, pal.
Right.
Oh, YouTube commenters are a bunch of cunts.
I'm such an empty barrel when it comes. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that racist?
Hey, we're easy with the racism. Jesus, Neely. Stop calling yourself an N-word.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yes. So silly.
Yep.
Yeah, I just been enjoying the nonsense that's been going on this week with our stupid media.
They're retarded.
They are retarded. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in this world, you know, and the only thing they could focus in on was an alleged, well, it was a phone call, but allegedly things that were said on a phone call.
Yeah.
That consumed 4 days in the media this week.
Well, dude, anything with Trump is bad. I saw this Facebook post a little while ago, maybe an hour ago, and it was from my aunt, and she's like, I mean, she is like really on the I'll bet Obama's dick tastes good fucking level of libtardness.
Okay.
And she literally posted, and I was cracking up when I read it. She was posting about Harvey Weinstein.
Okay.
And you know that whole story.
Yes, of course.
And she posted that stupid Republicans believe this Harvey Weinstein thing, but they don't think that Trump does it too. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Harvey Weinstein is getting destroyed by the actual victims.
Yes.
You know, the victims of his fucking perversion are coming out and saying that he's a fucking sick fuck. But it's the Republicans that are
Well, we got to turn this political any way you can.
Dude, I am of the belief, and I really, truly believe this, and I wish Trump would do it just to fuck with the media. I really wish he would. This is one time I wish he would go to Twitter. And I wish he would just post out there, pedophilia is awful, and I'll do everything I can to stop it.
Right.
I wish he would post that so that I could watch these fucking dumbbells on the left say, who the fuck is he to tell people who they should love? And you know that you would have endless streams of that on Twitter, on Facebook. You'd have a panel on CNN talking about how pedophilia is good for a child's asshole. You would have every fucking one of these jizz buckets supporting pedophilia if Trump said he was against it.
Right.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I was going to, I have a story later in the show if we get to it. It's not the most funny or interesting story, but sure. it just goes to show you that if anything is associated with Trump, it's automatically bad unless you don't know it's associated with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the stories that I have, potential stories, is that they took Trump's tax plan, the one that he's proposing right now,
sure,
took it to a college and presented it to college students, saying, had Bernie Sanders been elected, this would have been his tax plan.
Oh, and they're all like, this is great.
That's exactly what it was. This was fantastic. Wow. That guy should have been elected.
He should have been our president,
He
man.
should have been. And then they told him it was Trump, and it was just like, oh.
Oh, well, it's not as good as I thought. Let me read that again.
Yeah, that's not good, man.
Wait a minute, I misread it.
It's got to be something flawed with that. Yeah, so that's how they presented it, and the students were in full agreement. Oh man, this is fantastic.
This is just what we need. Oh, it's Trump? Fuck that. I don't want that at all.
Oh, Trump came up with this? Oh, screw it then.
Yeah. So, without getting into a lot of details about it, you want to hear about one of our listeners that got suspended a week from work and now is on the watchful eye of his boss?
Yes, please.
For being right leaning.
Okay.
So one of our listeners, I'm not going to sell out who he is. I will say that he's a bus driver.
Okay.
He drives a bus, and apparently somebody. He is definitely a conservative.
Uh-huh.
He's definitely a Trump guy.
Right.
I mean, he's like a little bit harder, I guess, conservative, I guess. A little more than me, probably less than you, wherever that is in the middle. Okay?
Uh-huh.
So he was doing his job, and he got called into the office, of his work, and he got suspended for a week for a comment that he made that was against liberalism. He made some comment that was against being liberal.
Yes.
And I don't know the comment exactly, but he made this comment, and because of that, he took a week off of work for discipline.
Well, I mean, who did he make the comment to?
It was on somebody posted up one of these, comments slamming the left.
Okay.
And he made a like a joke, but it was consistent with the meme that was slamming the left.
Okay.
And because of that, he got suspended for a week.
Well, this was like on social media he did this?
Yes, on Facebook.
Oh, well, there we go.
Shock.
Stay off fucking Facebook.
Yeah, I know.
I wish, people are so narcissistic when it comes to that stupid Facebook.
I know.
And unfortunately, it won't go away quick enough as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But the average person out there does not need to be on Facebook.
Yeah. If you're in any kind of a job where you've got a cunt-faced boss that will worry about it.
No, not a cunt-faced boss.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a job that's taxpayer supported, or you're in
He's not.
Well, isn't the school?
It wasn't a school.
Yeah, I thought. Oh, he doesn't work for the city.
Independent busing company.
Okay, all right. Well, all right. Maybe that's an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
But for the most part, again, if you work for the state, the city, some kind of local government, if you're taxpayer supported, or you're in a high profile corporate position, stay off the Facebook.
Yeah. Anymore anybody has to, or at least be anonymous. Use a fake name. And if you can't use a fake name on Facebook, don't be there.
Yeah.
You can certainly use a fake name on Twitter. Go to Twitter.
Yeah, but again, what does posting something like that achieve anyway?
You gotta be cool, dude.
Yeah, but you're just preaching to the choir because you're never going to change the mind of somebody who disagrees with your comment.
Did you see my daughter taking it to
Yes, I saw it. I saw it. I saw John Drake offer to stand up and salute and embrace your daughter.
I just sat back and was like, fuck yeah, I don't even have to get in on this.
Right.
My daughter had the best fucking line ever. That's stupid. I don't know what Jess was thinking with her fucking comment of a woman with a penis that blah, blah, blah. My daughter just hit her back with a woman with a penis is a man.
Right. Exactly.
And she said some fucking nutty, dude, did you read that whole thread?
I read the whole thing, and I had to go. I had to go throw up after reading all that nonsense. It's just like it's hard for me to believe that there are people in the world that actually exist like that.
I liked the quote that if you take hormones, it will change your DNA.
Yeah, I saw that.
Then what the fuck good is DNA in fucking criminal courts?
Exactly.
Cases.
Yeah, you can't reason with people like that. There's no reasoning involved.
It cracked me the fuck up. That's for damn sure.
Yep. I know. I saw it. It was just like, ugh. I can't believe I spent 8 or 10 minutes even reading through that whole thread.
I didn't even hardly get involved in it. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I saw you putting up the Michael Jackson eating popcorn like you're just sitting back and enjoying the show.
Sitting back watching.
Right.
I love it when somebody else takes up the fight and I don't have to. That makes it easy.
Sure. I don't know. Just the whole arguing and Facebook fights back and forth, and it's just like, oh my God.
Right.
It's like, come on, find something better to do with your time, will ya?
Come on, there's nothing better to do than that.
Right. But in all seriousness, for our fans who listen to us, if you're in the Facebook and you feel compelled to comment, if you're in a position where, it could jeopardize your livelihood, you don't need to throw a comment out there. It's really not necessary.
No. And at a minimum, have a fake page. Have the fake nice page to give your work, you dumbbells. And don't tell people at work what your real Facebook page is. Who does that?
I got an idea. Just stay off Facebook.
Well, yeah, that's the easiest way. But there's, it's just like telling a drunk not to drink.
Right.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you drink O'Doul's or whatever.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, within the last 10 or so years, Facebook has been the scourge of this country.
Well, apparently,
if not of the world.
Well, apparently it is, considering that you asked the guy from Guar if Mark Zuckerberg was an eat of Guar.
Yeah, that I went back and listened to that because after I did it, I didn't listen to it again. So I did go back and listen to it, and the only reason I listened to it is because of your comment that he was clearly getting irritated.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, I remember him just kind of feeling, I kind of thought that he was more or less like, just like, what do I got to come up with some answer for this question now or this comment,
Right.
but I didn't know, I didn't really detect him being irritated. But then when I went back and listened again, then I was just like, yeah, I was getting under his skin a little bit.
Yeah, you were. He was annoyed as hell.
Yeah, but the thing is that he started out in character, then he went to being just who he is and real, and then he had to keep like going back into character. And it was just like, dude, you're the one in a band that dresses up like characters
and makes the interviewers interview in character.
Yeah, but it was fun though. I had fun with it.
It was so obvious that he was fucking annoyed early when he goes, wow, dude, you sure have a lot of conspiracies in your mind.
Yeah, did you read your press release?
Yeah, apparently not, because that's where all the questions came from, dumbbell.
Right.
Every question came from the press release.
Exactly.
So read your own shit.
I think one of the funniest answers he had, though,
was
that I asked him since the human race came from the scum dogs fucking apes, how do you explain AIDS?
So good.
And he said, well, what did he say? That's the weaker strain. That's HI5.
Yeah. HI5.
Because there's a stronger strain out there. It's HI6.
That was pretty good.
So
the whole thing was funny, though. Dude, I put that one up there with like Shadow Steel.
Yeah.
Because for as much as they want to be, set this fucking big scary, impression of what they are, you fucking brought them down to earth.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, it was funny. I'm not a huge Guar fan. I mean, I know some of their stuff, but I'm not a fan.
Sure.
I don't dislike them. It's just that, I've never got into them,
Yeah, sure.
And just talking to him and hearing him trying to put on the scary voice.
Yeah.
And then going back to like his human voice, and then said losing people, and then I was asking him if he considers the characters in Guar as people.
Right.
Since they come from a galaxy far, far away. But our good friend Wheezy checked in on it.
Okay.
He sent me an email.
All right.
He said, Neely, I heard your interview with Pustulus Maximus of Guar yesterday. Fucking awesome. 11 years ago, I found the CMS because of an interview, and I still listen to every one that you guys do. I love them.
Nice.
The Guar interview was hilarious. Who is a bigger cunt, Trump or Hillary? That was funny, and you just kept on asking insane questions. Fucking great, Neely. Just great. Well, I'll have to give credit to Chris and some of the questions. And, I threw in a few of my own, but it was kind of a collaborative effort.
Yeah, it was. It was, pulling back the curtain, as they say. I was going to do that interview, and then I couldn't. And I asked you, and I knew you didn't know anything about Guar, really. And I was like, well, I'll just write you some questions.
Yeah, and then I read the press release, and, a couple of I was like Natalie, a few things came to mind.
Right.
So I threw in a few of my own.
Totally great. And I love that interview.
So Wheezy has a question here, and I think this is something that we could probably settle right here on the show.
Okay.
I do have a question. Why do you intro the interviews with "That is a brand new song from so-and-so"? Why bother at this point anymore?
Because I technically am not done using the interviews for radio.
Right. And he said, you don't play these artists' music any longer. Just introduce the artist and begin the interview. It seems like a waste of time pretending to come out of a song.
No, it's not for the artist's benefit. It's because I'm working on something.
Right. And also the reason we're even interviewing the artist is because they probably are promoting a new CD.
Sure.
So if somebody hears the interview, it might tip them off that, hey, I didn't know they had a new record out.
Yeah. Well, and on my side, there is talk about bringing back Inside the CMS Studio.
Okay.
On another station.
All right.
So that's why I've been doing it, is because potentially we're going to have that show, that specific small show somewhere. Okay. And maybe if I sent the contract over to you at some point, we could make that decision.
Sure. He continues, don't get me wrong, I actually like the new format of playing unsigned bands better than the old classics. I have Spotify and over 2,000 CDs. I don't need to hear the classic bands from the CMS, but I do appreciate hearing bands that I have never heard before. You guys turn me on to new music, and that is great. Hail and kill, Wheezy.
Thank you, Wheeze.
So it's been a while since we heard from our fake producer, but that's his 2 cents.
That's a fan, man.
Mm-hmm.
11 years. Wow.
Yeah. Wheezy's been around and has helped the show out immensely over the years.
Hell yeah. Most of the bumpers that we open the show with are by him, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
And he helped me out a lot during your absence, your 2.5-year hiatus.
Sure.
He helped me with some production work and, putting stuff together for me and so on. So he kind of assisted me in that regard.
Oh, Wheezy rules, man. I have nothing bad to say about Wheezy.
Yeah, he's done some really good work, and he doesn't even have a professional background in, audio technology at all. He just picked it up one day and just worked with it.
He learned it doing shit for us, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He just downloaded a free a free version of, what is it, Audacity?
Audacity or something, yeah.
Yeah, and he worked with it and learned how to use it and learned how to do editing and all that other stuff and put a lot of those bumpers together.
Yep, he does good work, man.
Mm-hmm. So thank you, Wheezy. Thanks for checking in. Long time no here. Glad you're still out there and supporting the show in some regard.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. So what else is happening? Anything good?
Dude, it has literally been work. That's all I did this week was worked and watched a couple of TV shows. Finally finished Ozark. And did you watch that or not?
I did not watch that. I really haven't. The only TV series or a series television type show that I've watched recently, probably the two that I've seen, is The Good Place.
Okay.
With Ted Danson.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Kristen Bell.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Okay.
That was actually very funny. I mean, it's it's just kind of silly humor.
Right.
Then another one of those original cartoon series. I think it's called Loudmouth.
Haven't seen that.
It's about adolescents growing up, understanding their sexuality.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's called Loudmouth.
Is it me, or does Netflix have like 9 million original things coming out?
They do.
Now?
It's a ton of stuff.
It's a channel now.
It is.
It's its own channel, just like CBS is a channel now, with the all original programming. You know what they need to stop doing though? Stop doing shows that I want to watch in fucking Spanish only. Enough with that shit.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, dude, there's like they've put out has to be 3 or 4 different things about El Chapo, which I want.
Oh yeah, I did watch that, and I got tired of trying to read all the subtitles.
That's Narcos. You're talking about Narco, or did you watch El Chapo?
El Chapo.
El Chapo was tough too and Narcos goes back and forth between English, but I'm talking about they just put out some new one called I Fucked El Chapo or something. It's like the story of the chick that was fucking El Chapo.
Right.
And I went to watch it. I was all pumped because I love that shit. You know, cartel stuff. I'm way in. Start watching it. Has like a really long intro with, you know, sneaking through the woods and some shit. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be fucking good. And then when they come out of the woods, it's like, I'm like, what the flying fuck? And then I watched for like a couple minutes to make sure they didn't do like the classic fade in where it starts in Spanish and then goes to English.
Right.
And it didn't. And I was like, what the fuck, man? So now it's a show I can't watch.
Sure.
But there's a bunch of them out there that they're doing a lot of, you know, pandering to the Spanish or the Californians, I guess.
Uh-huh. And
it's like, come on, you know, American guy paying for this fucking channel.
Well, I dug up an old series that was that had to do with the mafia of all over the world, the different mafias in the different countries.
Sure.
And it was hosted by Robert Stack.
It's just called Mobsters, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And
or
it's like there's
mug shots,
something like that. And you know, it covers the ones, you know, from different countries and, you know, all the different underground or the mafia type stuff.
Right.
Have you seen it?
Oh yeah.
So the one that I went to, I think it was the seventh one, was the New Orleans mafia, and the connection with the Kennedy murder.
Yeah, that was good.
And it's just like, you know what? I don't care what anybody's conspiracy says. I mean, as much as these different documentaries that I've watched, it is clear that this had to do between the CIA and the mafia taking Kennedy out.
Dude, it was lone gunman in the one window.
No. And there was every reason why these guys had to get rid of him.
Dude, you know? We'll know Thursday, won't we?
Yeah. I saw a headline today. Trump won't stop the release of secret JFK documents.
Yeah, man.
And it's just like, so why should he stop it?
Yeah. Why should anything be off limits after fucking 55 years or whatever?
No, it's just 50 years. Or yeah, 50. No, it was 6. It was 50. It'll be 50. It'll be 54. It's 54 years this year.
Yeah, I think it's long enough. The only reason to keep that shit secret is because George Sr.'s still alive.
That is true.
That's the only reason to keep it fucking. All the other players are dead.
For the most part, yeah, I would imagine.
Except for George Bush Sr.
Except for James Files, who made the.
I don't buy that guy.
You don't?
No.
He seems to know a lot. Whether he's telling the whole story or not, but boy, he seems to know a lot.
I don't buy that guy. I don't know. He just seems kind of like anything for $1 guy.
Well, the guy was in prison forever. I mean, I'm sure he's got to make a couple of bucks somehow.
Yeah, and now he has a story. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's true. I've watched his documentary too, and or 10 of them about him. That's all I do now. Dude, I have 2 themes: the mob and Kennedy, and that's it. I mean, if you look at when I go to YouTube, that's all that pops up.
Right.
Let me go. I'll do it right now. Let me see here. Let me go to YouTube, because you will laugh. How do I get to just YouTube? YouTube. I'm going to YouTube, and this is the CMS YouTube. Let me get to my personal profile. Wait a minute, because I watch on the TV with my I have my own personal account, because God forbid I would have to, I have to have a record of what I've watched so that I know what I can still watch. All right, here's what it says recommended.
Okay.
Clues ignored in JFK assassination. More about the CIA's Oswald project. We know now who killed JFK. Who killed Bobby? The assassination of Robert Kennedy. The Gambino crime family, full documentary. The JFK conspiracy, the final analysis. The men who killed Kennedy, the cover-up, better quality. Then we've got the Iceman Confessions, part 1. Beyond JFK, the question of conspiracy. 24 hours after the assassination of JFK. Additional facts on the RFK assassination. And Dark Legacy, George Bush and the JFK assassination.
Right.
Those are my recommended 12 that YouTube sees that I would want to watch next.
Right.
So you tell me what I'm watching.
Sure. I'm the same way.
Love it.
I'm the exact same way. So, anyway, I found that even though it was an older, program,
Mm-hmm.
that mobster, that the head of that crime family in New Orleans,
right?
He definitely had a vendetta when, Robert Kennedy just had him swept off the street more or less and taken to Guatemala and just dropped off in the forest.
Yeah, that's fucked up, dude. That's pretty fucked up. What was that guy's name? It wasn't Giancana. It was the other guy. Let's see. Mobster that RFK sent to Guatemala. What was his name? Carlos Marcello.
Marcello, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when he got back, it was hell to pay.
And I was like, fuck, I'm going to take that motherfucker's head off.
Right.
And boy, did he. 1-2 punch.
Yep.
How did that fucking jizzbag Edward Kennedy get away with all the shit that he got away with?
Well, I mean, how do you think?
I don't know, because how did he not get whacked by somebody? Of all the Kennedys, he's the one that should have got killed. Or do you think they tried and failed twice, with the plane crash and then with the fucking swimming accident?
Yeah, who knows?
Couldn't swim with his car around him, apparently.
Yeah, the girl, that girl that he was with, she couldn't, she couldn't swim with a car around her either.
Yeah, what happened to her? Fucking weakling, couldn't swim with that seatbelt wrapped around her. Oh boy. Yeah, but that guy ended up ruining this country for fucking 40 years. Of all the Kennedys, he did the most damage.
He did.
What a jizzbag.
Yep.
Glad he's dead.
All the corruption, man.
Mm-hmm.
Corruption.
And what's crazy about the Kennedys is that Joe Kennedy got his start by being a mobster.
Yeah, he was a bootlegger.
He was a bootlegger when he was involved with Al Capone and shit.
Yeah.
And that's the family that ended up becoming U.S. royalty.
Yeah, well, he made all his money during Prohibition.
Yeah. But wasn't he working with Capone, or he was Capone's rival or something?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was definitely in with the mob.
Right.
But that's how Kennedy supposedly even got elected, is because the mob fixed the voting count in Chicago and West Virginia.
Yeah. And then they paid him back by saying, fuck you, we're going to bust all you fuckers.
Yep.
Dude, I'll tell you what, and I haven't found it yet, or I really haven't looked for it, because I'm sure it's out there. I want to watch the entire hearings of Robert Kennedy and Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Have you watched the whole thing?
For the most part, I've seen. I would probably say that I saw 60% of it.
Is it as intense as the couple of clips that they always show?
It's surprising how crass, Hoffa was in the. He had that same mentality that Jim Trafficking had.
Yeah, he did not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Senate committee my ass. Fuck you, Robert Kennedy.
Yeah, more or less.
And him flipping him off and, flipping him off with the eye rub thing and stuff. That's fucking hysterical.
It is hysterical. Yep. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that footage.
And you saw how they took care of him. He disappeared too.
Yep.
Dude, it was a mess. If you go from like 60 to like 80, it was a mess of corruption.
Oh, absolutely.
And then it just all sort of, whenever the .com stuff started, or when did it stop? Was it the 80s?
Probably. It probably dwindled down into the 80s.
Was it once John Gotti was done? Was that kind of it?
I think that once computers became more prevalent,
okay,
that's surveillance became more, accessible.
Right.
And so these guys could not continue doing their mobster stuff in the old way of doing it, because being surveilled was becoming easier and easier with, electronics and computerization and, cameras and all kinds of stuff.
Right. Are there still guys today? Like, I know there's criminals, but I mean, is there still organized crime? Or not really? Not
like the crime families used to be. I mean, I'm sure that they exist in some way, shape, or form.
Is it just like the gangs now?
It certainly doesn't exist in the way that it used to be. That's for sure.
Right. It's more like Bloods and Crips and biker gangs.
Yeah, I think that there's probably a component of the five families still.
Okay.
But obviously not as strong as it used to be. I think Gotti was the last gasp.
Yeah.
For the crime families.
As much as he was a celebrity and whatnot, from all the documentaries that I watched, he seems like he was just a fuck up.
Yeah, he wasn't the smartest guy in the world. He was just pretty ruthless.
It was like brute force guy.
More or less. He wasn't smart, but he would whack you if you got in his way.
Yeah, you don't have to be that smart when you fucking shoot somebody.
Pretty much that's it. And getting back to Hoffa, that was always a mystery and so on and so forth. But, I'm in full belief that they put him in a trash grinder just down the street from where they said they killed him.
Oh, and just that was it, huh?
Yeah, that was it. Because there was one guy here recently who basically led them to the house, and told basically Hoffa was just supposed to go to a meeting, and they picked him up at that restaurant,
right?
And they drove him to this house and basically offed him in the house, and then they put him in the trunk, took him down the street to the trash disposal company, and threw him in the grinder, and that was the end of it.
So you don't believe that the elaborate tale from the Nicholson movie? That movie. Did you see that movie?
I know of it. I didn't watch it, though.
That movie was garbage.
Yeah.
Me who didn't know a whole lot about it at the time knew that wasn't how it went. He's sitting in a car outside a fucking diner, and they had this elaborate thing with a truck that rolled up right as they murdered him and rolled the car into the fucking... Yeah, into it and drove it away, and that was it. And
he's sitting in the car, and that truck driver who was set up, or supposedly a truck driver. Yeah, I want to go out, and he goes, you know who that man is over there? He goes, you need to go out and shake his hand and show him, and he basically was the setup guy and killed him.
Here, you take him the coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's also the guy that played Oswald No. 2 that was shooting at the wrong target in JFK. It's the same guy.
Right.
So he's known for shooting for shooting people in the late 60s.
Sure. Well, and the reason why, supposedly the reason why Hoffa was taken out, don't you?
I got to think RFK. I don't know.
No, had nothing to do with that.
Was it the mob with the loan with the pension fund?
Yeah, it was the fact that even though Jimmy Hoffa was kind of a quote unquote bad guy, he still wanted to maintain a little bit of control of that money and stuff. Right. And his successor, that Jackie Presser, he was just a straw man for the mob. Okay. And he basically just did whatever they told him to do.
Right.
And Hoffa wanted to run again.
Okay.
And he was coming up on, he had to be, when Nixon pardoned him.
Yeah.
He could run again in, 1980, I think.
Okay.
And as the Teamster president, and the Teamsters didn't want him.
So they killed him because they knew he'd win?
Yeah, they figured he would win, and they didn't need any roadblocks to that Teamster pension money.
Right.
And so they said, you know what, this guy is old school. He's, past his usefulness. We don't need trouble. Let's just get rid of him before it becomes a problem.
Time to feed the birds out of the dump.
More or less. And that makes perfect sense. Yeah,
kind of does, but we'll never know. Don't you wish that when these guys die, they would give their confession? Like, I would like to know. I would love for the guy that did that to come out and have, like, video of it or something.
Right.
And, I would love OJ to talk about slicing Nicole's head off.
Right.
I would like all that shit when they, if OJ wants to wait till he's, like, on his deathbed, fine, but he's got to tell.
Yeah.
He can't go to his grave, having that secret, even though it's not much of a secret. Wouldn't it be cool to listen to OJ talking about how and why he killed Ron and Nicole?
Yeah, it was just blind rage.
Yeah, but still, would you want to hear the story from him?
Sure.
I would. Would you watch that? Would you pay? I would pay to see that.
Yeah, if it was legit, I would pay to see that or listen to it or however.
Let's say he had a speaking engagement, like he was gonna do like a speaking engagement. And it was $200. Would you pay it?
Yeah, but the thing is that see if OJ was alive and healthy and he was doing this, I would have to question what I'm going to get out of this thing.
Right.
Now, if he was on his deathbed, as you said, and he had nothing to lose,
okay,
and there were no repercussions because he's done for anyway, then that would be worth seeing or listening to.
Okay, they're going to wheel his deathbed out to the stage.
All right, I'll pay for that then. If I knew it was legit.
200?
Yeah.
I'd pay 200.
Yeah, sure.
Think he could sell out a stadium?
It's hard to say.
He'd be doing the speech kind of like the Lou Gehrig speech. I cut off her head. That'd be awesome.
I know he's been incarcerated for a few years, but now that he's back out of jail, I wonder if he's still pursuing the real killers.
From what I saw this week on TMZ, he's pursuing the blonde pussy. He was in some bar trying to pick up on some blonde skanks.
Yeah.
What kind of low self-esteem bitch do you got to be fucking hitting on OJ? Dude, he totally had women that were right there.
Yeah, well, yeah. Again, you know how people are around famous people.
Yeah, but there's one thing being around famous people. There's another thing being around famous guy that cut a woman's head off.
Yeah, I know, but how about those guys who were serial killers? Or well, let's even say Manson. Obviously, Manson did not commit murders himself personally, but during the time he's been incarcerated, or any one of these serial killers or whatever, a lot of these guys have been married.
I don't get it.
In jail.
Okay, but they're in jail. You're still protected.
Well, I understand, but my point is that these women, even though, they're protected from them, they're still marrying these guys, regardless of what the crime that they committed.
Can you imagine being the chick that OJ's banging and going into his kitchen? Wouldn't you look at like the steak knives twice? Yeah. Right? You would have to. You couldn't just say, "Oh, it's cool. There's a knife that could cut." You would think there's a knife that could cut my head off.
Right.
Wouldn't you think that?
You would have to.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, again, it's just like, yeah, I understand how you can get so pissed off and angry at your ex-wife to where you want to kill her, but that ain't gonna happen to me. Because I'm not gonna piss you off like that. You have no reason to kill me. Right.
That's it.
Isn't that kind of the weird, twisted way, some people might think?
Yeah. You're right, but the logic is so fucking screwed up in that thought. It's crazy.
Right.
That oh yeah, I'm gonna think that this guy that I'm pretty sure cut his chick's head off was somehow sane. There's a sane reason why it happened. It
was justified. She was living in his expensive house and, living off of his money and, fucking around with a young dude. I'd be pissed too. She deserved it.
Yeah, well, there's some truth there.
I think the guy that did the best scenario of that was Chris Rock himself when he goes, I don't condone that, but I understand.
Yeah, I definitely understand it.
I'm not saying he should have done that, but I understand.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's not wrong.
Yep. So just don't get OJ. You can date OJ. He's perfectly fine. Just don't get him into a blind rage.
Yeah. Maybe they just think he's too old now to actually do it.
Yeah.
Like he's not strong enough or something. I don't know.
Who knows? People are just nutty. Anything for fame, man.
Yeah, man.
Just to be able to rub elbows with the rich and the famous.
You know that whatever that whore's name is that sucked his dick, out of that bar, has a picture of her and OJ as her fucking profile on Facebook.
Of course.
You know it. Look at who I sucked. Look at that. It's me and OJ. I sucked his dick and he didn't even cut my head off.
So funny. And you only have to kind of look famous for people to react to you, because I went out last night.
Yeah.
I went to a place over near Joliet, by the prison over in Joliet. It's called the Statesville Prison. It's a haunted prison.
All right.
And it's a very elaborate haunted house prison thing. Very well done. A lot of animatronics in it. It's a very, very well done haunted house. I literally have not gone to one of these things in 30 years.
So, translation, the girl wanted to go.
Well, of course. So we went, and all I got the entire time, Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, God.
Dog the Bounty Hunter is here.
All you need is some fucking zip ties on your belt, right?
I bet you 4 or 5 people last night. Mm-hmm. Even the people working there. Dog the Bounty Hunter's here.
That's when you should say, yeah.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you take pictures?
No, I didn't take pictures.
Come on.
There was nobody asking for a picture.
I was going to say, did they ask?
No, if they asked, I would have taken a picture, but but that was just so funny though.
See, that's what you got to do is start taking the pictures.
Yeah, well, if somebody wanted to take a picture, I'd say, yeah, I'll grab a photo with you. Sure.
Sign it, dog. Have you signed an autographed dog yet?
I have not. I have not been asked for an autograph yet. But if I do, I will sign it, dog.
Does Neely's chick have as big of boobs as Dog's wife? I'm going to guess no. Because that girl has like fucking soccer balls stitched.
Yeah, she's got like triple F's or something.
She's got disgusting level.
What's her name? Beth or something?
I don't know. Big boob, fucking ugly chick.
I think she's lost a lot of weight though.
Has she?
I think so. I think she's dropped a bunch of weight.
Well, all I know is her tits look absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, she's got big basketball tits.
Yeah, those are fucking. When it's bigger than your head, it's too big.
Yeah, I agree.
I love tits and all, but when it's bigger than your fucking head, that's too much. That's just too much tit.
Yeah, I agree. There is such a thing as too big.
Yep, and she exemplifies that.
Yeah, but she's kind of, well, I've seen a couple of photos recently, and she has dropped quite a bit of weight. Mm-hmm. But during the prime of that TV show,
Yeah.
She was a pretty heavy girl.
Yeah.
With big tits.
She was like the Pillsbury Doughboy, but with the rings rearranged.
Too good. All right, man. I need to go get a drink.
Yeah, me too. I've been eating these fucking candy corns, and now I'm dying of thirst.
Candy corn?
I shouldn't. It's my fucking one candy vice.
Really? You like candy corn?
Love them.
Ugh.
Love that. It's the only candy I like.
Is that right?
I don't eat anything else candy. I don't really eat like Snickers or Three Musketeers. None of that shit.
Huh.
The only candy I like is fucking candy corns, and my daughter brought me a bag of them, and I'm just fucking eating like a couple of them, and now I'm remembering why I don't eat them often, because now I'm just dying of thirst.
Yeah.
Because it's like pouring a bag of sugar in your mouth. I only ate like three. I ate three of them, and I'm just dying now.
Yeah. Not a big candy corn fan.
Big fan of them. I don't like any, but you know, it's so weird, dude. I'm like the lone fat guy that doesn't like sugar shit. You know, I don't eat cookies. I don't eat cake. I don't eat fucking candy bars or any of that shit.
Huh.
Occasionally 3 times a year, a donut maybe. And that's about it. You know, and candy corn in October. And that's it.
All right.
It's weird.
Interesting. All right, well, let's play a couple of tunes. We'll be back. Let's play since Chris is talking about his only vice when it comes to candy. Let's play a band called Substance D.
All right.
This comes from their Addictions release.
Nice.
And this is called This Devil Inside, exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.